Wow, that's crazy. So are we a little bit behind then?
Up.
I don't know. We might be like 5 minutes behind. It'd be funny if we are.
What? Have we been recording this whole time?
Like recording and then yeah, I think that I'm checking it now.
We've been recording for like the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Scroll back on
No,
the live
we're not. We're not. I was just checking it. What's up, world? Welcome back.
time.
Another episode of Blood and Beer. Yeah, we missed the cracks, but this is the show where we talk blood sport and we drink
We've been
beer.
recording for like the last 5 minutes.
We have. Hold on, I gotta fix your audio. Say
Yeah,
something.
I'm really delayed on your end.
It's not the delay as much. That's the stream. It was double. It was doubling up. So say something again.
Yo, yo, yo.
Yeah, you're good. You're spot on.
Yo, yo, yo.
I'm sorry about this, everybody. Welcome. Join the chat. We're here to talk MMA. We got 5 months into the year. We got a pretty large sample size. I'm here with Cody and Noah, talking blood sport, drinking beer. We got some Busch lattes. Cody, what you sipping on tonight?
We got the typical tweeze.
Twisted Teas over there, and Noah's
Yes,
somewhere
sir.
to be found. We got a new graphic on the screen here. We got the blood and beer stats. So this is what we do. We got the main card breakdown. We got the best bets. Cody's up 53.7 units year to date. I'm up 13.97, and Noah's down 13.37. So we're all doing pretty good if your name doesn't rhyme with Boa. But today we're just doing a roundtable. We're talking it all. We're talking knockout of the year, fighter of the year, fight of the year, some of the best moments that we've had thus far. Looking at the state of MMA. We're going to talk about the Jon Jones retirement news, fights to look forward to, cards to look forward to. We got a lot for you this week. And Noah, we miss you if you're there, wherever you are. Hope to find you. And yeah. Our first top, I don't know. Should we jump in and start without Noah? Can we do that to him? Cuz
I'll be
seems
here in about 2 seconds. Give me like 2 minutes.
All right. Noah's getting here.
Noah's here.
Yeah, we'll pop a little lip pillow. We're switching off the snuff. Everybody. Trying to.
I'll get my laptop password.
Oh, getting on the lappy top. You guys know, I know you both have laptops. Webcams work way better on the laptops for all this. But yes, we are live. We are talking MMA. We are talking UFC. We got 316, 17, 18, 19 coming up. Breaking them all down. Everything we know about him. There he is. There's the man, the myth, the legend. The man with the tackle box. How the hell are you, my friend? Noah?
I'm good.
Oh, there you are. Which you
No, that was me.
Oh.
I don't even know where he's at.
Oh, that's funny.
Mr. Tacklebox, where you at?
Oh, he's doing something. Let him get set up there. But I'll go ahead and bring us into it. We're going to talk first topic of the night of this roundtable. We're going to go fight of the year. You know, we're 5 months in, so almost to that halfway point, almost to the end of May. And we're looking at fight of the year. There's been a lot of good fights. Kind of a weird year. We've had some really high highs, some really low lows in the UFC as far as entertainment, as far as everything that there is with the promotion. As far the cards that we've been given, there have been some great ones, some dog shit ones. But I want to know where you guys are standing with your fight of the year so far. What do you have for it? Because I'm pretty set in my ways. I couldn't think of a close runner up, but I want to hear your guys' thoughts. So Noah or Cody, we'll start with you since you were the first one here, and then we'll jump over to Noah before I bring us in on it, and then we'll just kind of converse if there's anything to talk about.
My fight of the year so far up to date. We're only, like we said, we're only 5 months into the year, so we got plenty of time here to get going. But mine is easily the Marab versus Nurmagomedov fight. Um, that fight it's by far the highlight of the year. Just for the stakes alone, the star power, the potential that the UFC is going to be holding with those two. It's just that was a masterclass of what we're going to see as the face of the UFC going forward here, and the powerhouses here in that division. With Marab winning, I think we're going to see Marab O'Malley 2 here next week. I think we're going to, not next week, 2 weeks from now. My apologies. Being off from UFC weeks, it's throwing me off a little bit.
Yeah, it's weird. Life's
But
a little less fulfilling.
no, yeah, it's I think that fight for me though is easily number one. I'm curious to see what you have to say, and what Noah has to say whenever he gets back. I'll let him know what I said and see what he has to say about it. But for me, man, I think that one easily holds the top of the line for me.
Yeah, that was a really high level fight. A lot going on there. Umar showed up early, looked really good, faded a little bit down the stretch. Marab was able to implement his game plan, push the pressure, strike with him, and kind of break him and show why he was the champ. So that was a great fight. I went a little bit different way, but no is not there. There we go. The man is set up. No, are we there?
Can't figure out my headphones, but so man, for me, I don't know. I really like the Diego and Volk fight.
That
It
was
was
a
really
good one.
fun. I just feel like it was a pivotal moment for the featherweight division. Kind of just letting the new dog in, the old dog going to stay, and I feel like Volk proved himself a lot and kind of showed where he stands now.
That fight was definitely a prime example of that. That's exactly what we had there. Was the old guy going to be able to handle it? 99% of the time, they never were able to get it done. Volk got it done. So another great submission that you give us. And there were moments in it where Lopez had a chance to finish Volk, couldn't get it done. So there was everything there as well. Volk going out, putting on another masterclass like he has time and time again. So, yeah, that was a great fight. I'll tell you why you're both wrong, though. The fight of the year was JDM. It just happened last weekend or 2 weekends ago. JDM versus Bilal Muhammad. It had everything. Bilal actually stayed on the feet. They struck the whole time. Both dudes' faces were battered, busted. They were bloody. That's what we love on this show, on the blood and the beer. We love it all. And that fight was just beautiful to watch. We saw swings of momentum where JDM comes out hot. Bilal starts to climb back into the fight. It all came down to that fifth round. Both guys are looking good. And JDM puts it on, gets it done. As a big underdog, all the doubters were proven wrong. He was able to stuff Bilal's takedowns, do the damn thing. And with winning that super exciting fight, one, it gives Bilal some credibility. He finally had an entertaining fight. He didn't win it, but he had an entertaining fight. And two, it shot a bolt of life into the welterweight division, where now these guys at the top are going to have to fight each other because Islam's coming in to fight JDM at some point. So now Shavkat, not number one contender anymore. Sean Brady, not a number one contender. Ian Gary, he's not getting a title shot next. We also have Michael Morales coming up. We've got Joaquin Buckley. Carlos Praches is still there. Welterweight is on fire. No, what are you sipping on tonight, brother?
Got some Tito's.
Tito's, okay.
Lots of middle
Tito's.
grabbing, baby.
Hey,
Got
it's
a
the
handle
man.
the other day. I figure, might as well drink a little bit of it.
Might as well drink it all. You're right. Oh, goodness gracious.
Whew.
So, I don't know if you caught that. Noah, you know what? Do a shot for me. You were late. Do a shot. We're popping shots on this round table. And feel
A little swig for it.
Feel free to share that link on your Facebooks or Twitters. Get some viewers in here, boys, for the live. But that's what we are, is live. And so what do you guys think? We were all chatting about that fight as it was happening, so I know you all watched it live. What'd you guys think of that JDM Bilal fight? Because that fight to me had everything. It was entertaining. It was like, is someone going to get knocked out? Shit, Bilal's landing some power shots. He's getting the takedown. JDM's shooting right back up. It was like must-watch TV the entire time. There wasn't a dull moment of that fight.
Noah.
I feel like for me, more so, I was shocked, honestly, that Bilal didn't take a takedown once in that fight, wouldn't shoot one.
Well,
I figured in the
he
fourth,
ended
fifth
up at the
round.
end, but
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, in the middle, beginning, I feel like, he kind of is
The Red
trying to
Sox.
reach for something more so in the end. But, like, that's not his game, though, to take one at the end of the fucking last round. That's definitely not it at all. So I was kind of surprised. I really enjoyed the fight. Still just, you don't have Canelo. But
yeah, Canelo hands. But he tried. John Dong, I was on Faraz Zahabi's stream, and he torched me. I said something that was tongue-in-cheek. It was supposed to be satire, and he did not get it. He thought that I had too much blood. Maybe I had some brain damage from bleeding too much, or I was drinking too much beer. Either way, he didn't get the joke. Yep, that was me, my friend. That was me. I was the guy that he crapped on, and I will never forget about that. That was hilarious. I had just joined. I was like, Aldo didn't miss weight. He moved weight classes. Vet move. And yeah, Faraz was not having it. He said my brother got screwed there. He still got the win, but that was not a vet move. He did miss weight, and I'm an idiot. So yes, that was me. I don't know why he did either. He got way more mad, and I tried to like dial it back and be like, dude, I was just playing. It was a joke, but he would not acknowledge anything else I said for the stream, so I dipped out of that one. And I don't think Faraz and I are going to be getting along in the future. I don't think he's going to be having me on the TriStar channel.
what was like an underdog fight for you this year? Like something that took took you by surprise.
Man, dude, there have been so many underdog fights that took me by surprise. One that didn't take me by surprise was the ladder bet that killed us because I talked about it the week after, but
Oh my God. Yeah, Bo Nickel.
yeah, Bo Nickel to RDR. RDR shouldn't have even been a dog there. I know Bo Nickel's got the wrestling credentials, but you look at what RDR had done and won. The guy had only lost to the heavyweight champion over there. Yeah, he lost twice to him, but he's only lost to one guy, Timothy Malikan, and he was killing people in one. His submissions, he was outstriking everybody. I know the level of competition isn't the same, but the guy's got so much experience, and Bo Nickel just doesn't have that experience. He hasn't been in the fights. I should have saw that coming, but yeah, that was a hell of an upset.
I was salty 'cause I've been rooting for Bo. Like I know there's a lot of hate on him. And
I
stuff, but I
have
kind of want
not
to see him
been
win.
I have not been
Ooh.
rooting for Bo.
I don't know. I want someone like
Yeah.
Charles Hamza. I was hoping he'd be the guy.
The RDR plus 340. Yeah.
Yeah, I just with Bo, I feel like he disrespects MMA the way he talks about all the other guys that they're not on his level, but then he goes out there and looks like an amateur when he's fighting. He's great. He's great. He's super athletic.
On paper, he
but,
should be like the best wrestler.
but he's
Damn, dude.
he's not a fighter, which
Rob
is
was a
crazy.
plus 225 dog.
Yeah, Marab gets crapped on all the time by the odds. I remember I hit a huge bet on Marab a couple years ago when he fought Piotr Jan. He was like a plus 210, plus 185 dog on that one, and I couldn't believe it. He shot 50 takedowns, got the win easy. So, yeah, there was some,
And then also there was a
Man.
big dog here too.
Rowney
where was it?
Barcelos won. He was a big dog. Sam Patterson was a huge dog over at Danny Barlow.
Jared Cannonier over over Gregory Rodriguez
That was a big
plus 210.
Yeah, that was a big dog. Let's see here. Yeah,
Bro,
Michael
JDM
P-
screwed my parlay. I had a $5 bet on the last pay per view, and if Bilal would have won, bro, I would have cracked him like 200 off $5.
Prime Dillashaw versus O'Malley. Who wins?
I won $800 that weekend off that.
I don't know. I think Dillashaw should be able to get it done because if he's not cutting down to 125, his chin is there. The dude's a stud. I mean, he was great at 135. As far as what he was able to do, he might have been the most skilled one. Between him and Marab, most skilled 135ers. Cruz's fight IQ is phenomenal. Garbrandt's boxing and ability to move was amazing, but Dillashaw's ability to put it all together, I think it'd be a big problem for O'Malley. He'd crowd the shots, but O'Malley's got that rangefinder. He could find him with a straight right on the outside. I don't see it happening. I think Dillashaw would take that pretty easy. But,
He kicked the slate out.
you know, my boy John Dodson knocked out Dillashaw. Granted, that was at 125 and Dillashaw was killing himself to get there, but he knocked him out. So who's to say O'Malley couldn't? He's got crazy knockout power. But I think Dillashaw gets that one. How do you guys see that one going?
I think Dillashaw walks away with that one by it's gonna be 47-49, 47-48. It's gonna be really close.
What was
Um,
the question?
It was Prime Dillashaw versus O'Malley. Who wins?
I'm the Sugar Show type of guy.
Yeah.
I mean, Dillashaw, I mean, I like him, but I think on the right night, there's not a single bantamweight on the planet that could beat Sugar. Like,
Well, Marab showed that the bantamweight could beat Sugar.
I mean, he had a bad hip, and there's a lot of things that went came in play. I feel like we're gonna get a whole different Sugar in this next fight, so I don't think.
We could.
You know.
I have no idea. I think Marab should win, but like optimism wants O'Malley to win just for the fun of it, and I'm kind of tired of watching Marab fight. I'd like to see him just sail off into the sunset and do his thing. And there's beef between Pantoja and O'Malley, so if O'Malley does beat Marab, then O'Malley versus Pantoja for a super fight after Pantoja defends against KKF and maybe Manel Kopp, but they seem not too keen on giving Manel Kopp a title shot right now, so I'm not sure. But yeah, as far as that Dillashaw O'Malley, I think Dillashaw beats anybody. I think he beats anybody not named Marab at 135 right now. If he's
USC.
healthy.
Let me
he
cut you
might-
off, but did you see where oh shit, Poirier got a new coach?
I did. We'll get into that along with the Jon Jones and that stuff towards the end.
Okay.
After we do, because we'll jump into our second topic here. We got fighter of the year. So we've had a lot happen this year. We've had some people defend their titles. We've had new champions come along. We've had people win several fights, people with several finishes. So Noah, we'll start with you this time. Who is your fighter of the year in 2025 up to this point?
That's a good question. I mean, it kind of pains me to say it slightly, but he just had one fight, but he cracked the armor in Alex Pereira. I want to say
Oh
Uncle
man,
Lion,
dude,
but
get
I don't
the
like it.
fuck out of
Look, I
here.
don't like it, but he did beat him. You know, like I'm a huge Pereira fan, but like I think that is the nobody else been able to do it, and he's the one that came close. That pains me to say. Like I said,
Yeah, but you beat him, close fight, hurt
Right,
Pereira,
right.
not an entertaining fight. I can see like the status of the win, but I couldn't even put him in the realm.
I don't think of him being a fighter of the year, but I'm saying at this point in time, he has the most notable win out of any fighter on the roster right now.
Okay, yeah, most notable win. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
But yeah, fighter of the year. I guess I have a different criteria for it.
Right. I'm just saying a notable win side. I feel like honestly, my fighter of the year is going to probably end up being Ilya though. I think he could go on a crazy fucking run. Like
I think
he's
he'll only
on a
fight
crazy
one-
run.
Yeah, he'll fight one more time.
One more, yeah, probably in October.
Yeah, October, November, maybe the
I
MSG card. But yeah, to this point, it is a little bit slim pickings because not a lot of people have done a ton at the top up to this point. But Cody, who do you have for your 2025 Fighter of the Year as of May 21st, 2025?
right now, it's going to be JDM. He's more active of all the fighters, and he's moved up the rankings, I feel, the most this year of all the fighters. And he beat Bilal Muhammad. He was ranked top 5 pound for pound fighter right now in the UFC before this fight. and he went out there and put on a fucking show. Pardon the language. He went out there and put a show on, and credit, so did Bilal here. And Bilal stuck to his word. He didn't shoot for the ground. He didn't. He was on the feet, and I think JDM here right now. He's like the way he just the aggression, the passion, the power between everything amongst his fighting skills, and not even that his promo talking shit. Just dude is dude is like really fucking like he's pardoned it again. He's kind of like the closest thing to Connor since we've had Connor, you know?
Ilya.
Dude,
Ilya's a
I
carbon
don't know.
copy of Connor.
I don't
He's
know,
got the
man.
same tattoos. He's acting the same way. But I could see another one fight. He's done one fight this year, and hey, lazy bed. I appreciate you tuning in, buddy. I'll try to catch yours. I'll probably miss the live, but I'll tune in afterwards. I know JBR's got their preview at 10 p.m. But thank you for tuning in. Yeah, but JDM, another guy, one fight. I could justify his a little bit more than I could justify the Ankalaev because of how entertaining that fight was. But the activity, he was off for about a year before the Bilal fight because he broke his arm in the Gilbert Burns fight and had staph. He was very active before that, but he was off for about a year just because of the complications from him breaking the arm. And yeah, so I have trouble giving it to JDM either. Like I said, I have a bit of a different criteria. Mine's, have you had entertaining fights? Have you done a lot? Have you been active? So a guy that was close to fighter of the year for me last year was Charles Johnson. He was my prelim hero. He lost at the end of the year. He was on a 4-0 streak, I think, on the prelims though. But my fighter of the year right now is Jean Silva. He's got the crazy knockout of Melzik Baghtazarian, and then he's got the ninja choke over Bryce Mitchell. The guy's entertaining. He's boosting his stock with every fight. Every time he goes out there, he's must-watch TV. So I think he's got the fighter of the year locked up at this point for this time in the year with the two emphatic wins, highlight reels, and he's moving his way towards the title. But you want to look at two dark horses for fighter of the year. I'm looking at guys like Azmat Bakoyev, who has two first round finishes, Zachary Reese and Zach Loader, the guy that won tough. So he's got two first round finishes, and it's not just the first round knockouts. They're great knockouts, but it's also this guy didn't hardly speak English, and the past month he's got up to like 12,000 Twitter followers or 20,000 Twitter followers, learned English, been on the Bisping podcast, getting out there, getting names, getting popular, interacting with the UFC. He's building a brand as a guy that's not known for being super entertaining. He's getting knockouts. He's building a brand. So he's a close second for me, as well as Melkazel Costa. Just beat Julian Erosa, had a finish over Andre Fili, and he had a win earlier this year. I don't have the other guy's name pulled up right now, but Melkazel Costa, he's got 3 wins on the year, and, that's tough to do. In 5 months, 3 wins. That's impressive.
That's impressive.
Yeah,
That's very impressive.
So
Yeah,
that's
it's
an honorable mention. He hasn't beat a ton of big names, but 3 wins, 1 finish in a calendar, or in just 3 months because it's February, March, May. Submission.
I like the way you're. I don't mean to cut you off. I kind of like your tactic about it. How you went on activity, and the basis on how they're gravitating in their wins and down there on their way up. I didn't. I thought about it in that perspective, but I kind of went for just the bigger picture. And I kind of like your idea there when you're talking about the activity of it, because there's a lot of fight night guys out there that we watch, we talk about a lot, that are picking up fights on 1 month notice right now, and they're putting on shows.
Yeah, like I said, the Bakoyev, he's going out there, he's putting on fun fights, he's engaging with the fans, building a profile. So I think that gets you some recognition in it. And once we have someone defend the title twice, that'll overtake it immediately, or win a title and defend it in the calendar year. That'll overtake it just because of the status that it gives you to have beat those guys. But right now, you can't tell me that a guy with 1 win is gonna outdo these guys with multiple finishes or multiple wins, high activity rate. So that's where I'm at with that one. But let's move on to our knockout of the year. Noah, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm trying to figure out my passwords for my computer.
All right, well, Cody,
Pissing me off.
we'll start with you for the knockout of the year. Oh, hold on real quick. We got a question from John Dong before you get into that. If you guys had to fight John Silva, what's the game plan? Well, he can stuff takedowns and he closes range like a mother effer. So you're gonna have to. I think a tall dude might be able to give him trouble in a big ring, not in a big octagon, not in the apex, but a full 30-foot octagon. You're gonna have to jab his face off and kick fast, kick low. Don't let him catch your kicks, and just be on your bike and run. Make it a boring stick and move kind of fight because you're not taking him down. You don't want to get close with him because when you shoot takedowns, he can unleash vicious hooks, vicious uppercuts. He's got really good close range shots. And if you have range on him, he won't be able to land his straight rights as much, his hooks from the outside. So I think you got to go for a Leron Murphy style fight where you're just stick and move, stay on the outside, do not engage with him, do not engage. You got to fight a boring, smart fight. You're not going to get in there and knock out Jon Silva because he's going to knock you out first. What do you guys think? Kind of an impromptu question, but Jon Silva, how do you beat him if you're fighting him?
How do you out Jon Silva? Jon Silva. I feel like that's the only way you can do it. You have to kind of beat him at his own game.
Just make him get in a firefight and hope you get the knockout.
Honestly, yeah, because that's the only way. It's like you just have to knock Laird's barber off that chin eventually. Because I mean, he can guard the takedown, like you said. He's so damn good on the ground, and when he's on the ground, he can get back up. He can change position like the best of them, man. He's so freaking good. I I think yeah, you probably just have to outpower and out will Jon Silva.
I don't think there's anybody at 145 that can outpower him. But what do you
So
think?
like in a street fight? A street fight?
No, we're talking like MMA fight. How do you beat Jon Silva? Street fight, you're not beating that guy.
Yeah, I'm being nice. Hell yeah. That's how I'm gonna
Yeah, I'm
use.
gonna fucking grab everything I can
Definitely
and
gonna
throw
use.
the kitchen
Yeah.
sink at him. Shit.
I just believe you got to meet him with fire. Like you said, you kind of meet him at the same pace, high intensity. You got to like bring it to him because I feel like he brings a lot of the fight to everyone else. So I think one of the first times that someone actually kind of brings it to him and meets him with his own pace, I feel like it's going to be a little interesting to see because I feel like he is the pace setter for every fight. So when he's getting outpaced by someone else, like, so I wish someone like Marab could like fight him. That's like a high pace like person to kind of put it on to him. So I feel like that could be his kryptonite. I'm not saying it's going to be, but I feel like it could be.
That's different weight classes, but somebody like that, yeah, maybe a mob
Yeah,
star.
I'm not
But
saying like
if
I'm
you
not
get,
saying exactly him.
if
But
you're somebody that takes punches, though, he's not a guy you want to fight because he's gonna be punching you in the face over and over again, hard as shit. I mean, he's got 16, so one, two. He's on a 13 fight win streak. Hasn't lost since 2018. A decision to Gabriel Chalup de Lima in Sao Jose Super Fight qualifying. So back in 2018, 7 years since the guy lost. I mean, he's on an absolute tear. How do you beat this guy? He's on fire. Until we see him get beat, we don't know how to beat him. And I think a Leron Murphy, maybe a Movsar, but I think Movsar gets knocked out shooting a takedown or trying to get in on him. And I just think that Jon Silva's too strong for all that right now. He's on fire. Momentum's a huge thing, and he's got it. But knockout of the year. Cody, we got sidetracked. Let's get to our third topic here. What do you have for your knockout of the year at this point?
Knockout of the year, I had a couple. But after reconsidering it, Mauricio Ruffy spinning heel kick over King Green at UFC 313.
That was beautiful.
That was brutal. That was awesome. That had everyone's jaw dropping. That's one of them ones where you're, oh. I mean, that's definitely one that just gets you views, gets the clicks, gets everyone tuned in. And not even just that, the athleticism, just to get the timing, get the heel up, and get the heel up with the power on the chin. Dude, it's freaking sick. I love them kind of strikes. and the combinations to get him off and the timing, dude. The amount of skill that takes, people don't understand the amount of flexibility someone has to have to be able to do that. Try doing that yourself. I mean, how many people can even get their leg above their hip trying to kick it forward, dude? Not very many. These unathletic folk.
Dude, my daughter, she's won multiple national championships in karate for sparring. She's she's only an orange belt, but the way her karate school works is you work all the way through the kids belts that go up to green or purple, and then you restart at white for adult belts. So she's been through a lot more than the normal orange belt, but she couldn't even hit that kind of kick. She's and Noah, you know you both have met my daughter, but Noah, you know how athletic she is. She's freaky athletic, like just a beast, and she couldn't hit a kick like that, like not even on a pad. To be able to hit it live is just insane.
That comes down to a lot of genetics and stuff. I feel like for that things as well. Like you have to have a mixture of like genetics with like training and like if you have the
Well,
perfect combo,
you
that's where you get
gotta
someone like him.
you gotta work on the hip flexibility.
Right, right.
I remember
For some people,
Uriah
just
Hall
aren't
hitting
like
it.
that.
Yeah, but it's just such a hard move to hit. I mean, my dad, he's a black belt in karate, and I know he can hit that, but I don't. Now he's almost 60, so he couldn't do it. But when he was at his prime, he could hit that, but I don't know if he could do it in like combat. He could hit it on a bag, and he had been training karate for 20 years at that point. But move on to you, Noah. Do you have a different knockout of the year than the spinning heel kick by
Yeah. I mean, for me, I kind of like the Almeida versus Holland, the Vegas UFC Vegas 101, the fight night.
Almeida
I just,
versus Abdul Razak Al Hassan?
yeah.
That was a pretty sick one.
Yeah, I feel like that was like very fucking cool because I mean, I don't know. I didn't even know Almeida, honestly, personally, before that. That was like my first like witness of him too, and that was fucking sick to see. I just,
Almeida's a beast. He
mm,
trains with Pereira. I think they fought in kickboxing a few times. He's a beast. I'm kind of low on him. I'm gonna be fading him just because I don't think he has the MMA skill set. But that was a sick knockout. What was it? A straight right or a left hook that just put him out, or a straight right on the chin?
yeah, it was just
Just
so much
one.
power in that shit, dude. That sounds beautiful. There was a couple different ones, but I have them on my fucking laptop, and I can't get into it now. So
So I have again a slightly different one. Well, I have two, but my knockout of the year is a recreation of Conor McGregor's knockout of Jose Aldo in 13 seconds. It was Dominic Reyes with his step back knockout over Nikita Krylov. Krylov's charging in. Reyes steps back, straight left hand, puts him out cold. I mean, beautiful knockout. Just the beauty of the shot itself. That's what did it for me. I loved it, and the everything about that move was amazing. So I had I had I had that, but my runner up just recently happened at 3:15. It was Marc Andre Barriot caving the skull in of Bruno Silva with an elbow. Silva got taken out on a stretcher. He's fine, but what a vicious elbow. Cave someone's skull in, put him out cold like that. So, yeah, I had to give it to Dominic Reyes here. And that'll bring us to our next point. And that is going to be upcoming stuff. We're not talking about the past anymore. We're talking about what's next. So, Cody, I'll start with you again.
Yes, sir.
Which fight that has been confirmed so far are you most excited for? Tell us why. Tell us about it. Get us pumped. I'll be right back. And then Noah, after Cody's done, you just jump in. I'll come back.
yeah.
You guys keep the banner going.
For me right now, it's gonna be what's coming up in the near future is Marab O'Malley too. Just because what we know is between those two fighters. I think Marab, we've seen what he's got to show, and I think with O'Malley, we've seen the growth in him just from when he was just a peewee little fighter there to what he is now. And what we're going to see there in 2 weeks from now is going to be one of the probably top four, top five fights of the year for a title. It's going to be just a basic bloodbath with the range, the striking ability, the pinpoint accuracy between the two fighters. I think it's going to be a very, very fun, entertaining fight. That's one I'm most anticipated for. Another one I could say for an honorable mention would probably have to be, dude, the fucking BMF title. Um, between Poirier and Holloway. I think that's just gonna be a freaking bloodbath, dude, to end out Poirier's career and just send him out on the right note. Hopefully he can walk away with the BMF title. But I think yeah, those are my two right now most anticipated fights. What do you got going for us, Noah? While we wait on this freaking dude to
Mm,
get back on us,
dude, so I'm so fucking excited for DDP and Hamza in August, dude. That's going to be
that's gonna be fucking
insane, dude. I think it's gonna be a
beautiful.
bloodbath. I would love to see Hamza keep it up, but he's not going to. But DDP's ready for that, though. DDP is the type that he can handle. I think he's one of the few people who can wave the storm of Hamza. I think Hamza will be able to be. I think I don't know. I honestly have no idea who you're going to choose for that fight personally. I would go Hamza just because nobody's really been able, besides Kamaru Usman, to really like slow him down. But if
Honestly,
he
though,
can
you're
kind of
right.
win the storm on the second, third round, I mean, if that fight would have gone 5 rounds with Kamaru been would have beat him. Let's be real.
He would have
So
taken
it's
that.
gonna be crazy. Yeah, it's crazy to see. So I think
This guy.
if it goes 5 rounds the distance, I'm gonna give it to DDP. I'm really excited. I hope it goes 5 rounds, dude. I hope it's not 1 round. And I want to see 5 rounds of a fucking bloodbath.
That would be awesome. Cody, what fight did you have?
I had O'Malley, Marab too, or I had Holloway Poirier for the BMF title.
That's a fun one. Holloway Poirier is. So I, man, it's weird. I think the fight that I'm most excited about, I don't know, it doesn't, it has a lot of implications on it, but it's RDR versus Robert Whitaker. I love
Yeah.
RDR and his goofiness, his fight style. It's funny. Whitaker's kind of on the way down. Whitaker or RDR's come into the UFC. He's on his way up. He's working his way through the rankings, and this will put him right on the doorstep of a title fight. He'll be one fight away from a title fight if he can beat Robert Whitaker, especially with his past resume. I like what you
And
said about
imagine,
the DDP and Hamzat. That fight is going to be
dude.
that's probably between this
I think
and
it's
that.
gonna be the fight of the year. I think it's gonna be fight of the fucking year.
If
If it goes five
DDP
rounds,
win,
it's gonna be.
DDP is gonna win if it goes 5 rounds. I can tell
Oh,
you
for
that.
sure, for sure.
But yeah, fight of the year, it absolutely could take
I would
that.
love to see it end in a nasty finish. I would love to see Hamza on the canvas, dude. That would be like close to my heart. Like, I
That
just
that would be amazing to see Hamzat go down that way. It would be amazing to see DDP continue his shit talk, to continue doing the
I
bullshit that
hate
he
DDP
does.
too. Honestly, like I want him to win against Hamza. Like, I hate Hamza that much more.
DDP is the worst best fighter you've ever seen. He's the best
Mhm.
shit fighter ever. It's
Like
pretty
you're never excited to the
amazing.
fight till you're watching the fight.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're watching him and you're like, man, this is actually a lot better than I was expecting. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's gonna be a banger. But I just think DDP or RDR versus Whitaker, that's gonna be fun. And if
Eh.
RDR wins, I know there's a logjam at 185 with Nasruddin Imavov and Kyle Bahayo. Have them fight. If they want to hold out a little longer, do triple or three name versus three name. Dricus Duplessis versus Reiner de Ritter. DDP versus RDR. It's going to confuse the shit out of people in the
Yeah.
marketing. Love it. It's going to be hard as shit to talk about. And it's going to be a awkward, clunky ass fight that I just love.
But imagine this though: RDR and Hamza fight for the belt. Like that would be a crazy fight, guys. Almost maybe a little crazy than DDP and Hamza. I
I
think that
think
would be
I think
stylistically a fun fight.
I think RDR probably gives Hamzat more trouble than DDP. If DD
Hmm.
just because of what he knows. I think RDR is a problem for everybody right now.
Which
But
is crazy because like last year he wasn't even on my radar.
yeah, he's been on my radar since 2020. I think is when he won his first one championship. But I was also it was COVID era. I was working at Spectrum at the time, so I wake up. We just had our second child, so we had a baby. I was getting up crazy hours, and one's on at 5 a.m. I'm up at 5 a.m. anyways every day. So I'd throw it on. I'd get to work, throw it on, and just chill while I was getting work ready before I'd leave for the day. And yeah, one was the bomb. One was doing really fun stuff before they got away from their MMA idea and just kind of went all in on the Muay Thai and kickboxing, and now they're struggling to keep it together. But one, they had Demetrius Johnson, they had Fabricio Andrade, who you guys probably don't know who he is because he's stuck over in one, but the dude's a killer. He has brutal
You've been
Muay
talking
Thai.
about him recently.
Yeah, and he's going to be stuck in one forever. But man, if he could come to the UFC and could pass, you don't even have to pass a drug test now with Drug Free USA. If he could come to the UFC, he would tear up. He might not win the championship, but he would give a lot of people problems. So, yeah, I'm most excited for RDR Whitaker, but DDP Shemaev, super fun as well. So, we'll say we got the fight out of the way. What card, because it might not be the fight, but what card are you most looking forward to that we have that's been announced so far? What card jumps off the page? What, we got to do a watch party. You're coming over, sitting on the black couch, throwing it up, drinking some beers, cracking some cards. Which card is it? Noah, we'll kick it off with you this time. Sorry, Cody. I didn't.
Oh, you're fine.
I didn't say a name, so you guys are just.
What was the best card of the year?
No, the card you're looking forward to most that's coming up.
IFW for sure. International Fighters Week.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's gonna be the card. I think that's gonna be a great. It's not the best card, but it has a lot of upside. I feel like it's, everyone does act up to the way that they should, and it should should fight. I should say, it has the potential to be an absolute banger.
Yeah, it absolutely does. Cody, you got anything different than IFW?
IFW would be good. I like right now the way as it sits. I like 317.
That is IFW.
Oh, is it? My bad. Jesus Louise.
No worries. But yeah,
Jesus, I got my dates wrong. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. That one jumps off the page. Is absolutely.
It's just insane. Yeah, that one just jumps off the page. I mean, with the fighters on it. I mean, and the talent levels of just the prelims, even the early prelims. That might just be fight card of the year. Another one that's going to jump off of you. JDP. I think that's going to be a really good one. At 319, I think that's going to be fun as heck.
Wait. DDP at 319.
DDPA. Drickus, my bad.
No, you're fine. I was like JDM, Drickus.
No,
Yeah.
Drickus versus and then we like watching him get his butt kicked, but Jamal Hill versus Khalil Roundtree, UFC Fight Night coming up.
Dude, that's a great card.
It's a really good card, man. It's a fun card, dude. You got Jamal Hill, Khalil Roundtree. You got Viziv versus Bahamondes, dude. You got
Horiguchi. They're not fighting anymore.
They're not.
No, Kyoji Horiguchi pulled out with an injury, so Ulanbekov's fighting somebody else. I think
we got Abdulwalib, and we got Hamdi Abdulwalib, and then freaking Muhammad Usman, dude. That's a freaking fun fight right there.
That fight is not going to be fun. That fight is going to suck worse than any fight you can picture sucking.
I don't know, man. I think Hamdi's just going to finish him so quick that it's just going to be so entertaining for all of us.
You know what Hamdi does? Hamdi grabs people, holds them against the cage, and that's how he wins. He's ever since he got popped for steroids, it's been one fight, but he looked terrible in his last one. And Usman,
Muhammad's got a nice 7-inch reach on him, though.
Yeah, but Usman sucks. He's
and
terrible.
Also you got and finally
Curtis Blades and Kuniev are finally fighting. Maybe.
Maybe.
Dude,
are we going to get our third cancellation?
Yeah, this is
our third cancellation of the year on these two.
Yeah, Lee, we've picked this fight so many times. They don't even have odds posted now, but. Yeah, man, they have been dying to make this fight happen for whatever reason, but they're yearning for it.
Freaking cat, baby.
Noah's got to dip out for a second. Noah's got to dip out for a sec. No worries, Noah. Stuff happens and we know. So we are going to Just adjust the stream just a little bit, and we'll drop our stats off. We don't need that. It's just us. Just us chatting.
Just us.
Just us chatting.
Give me the box score of this Knicks game. Blocked by Towns.
Saw Padres lost 12-0. Hell yeah.
14-0 actually. Get it right.
14-0. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Put some respect on it.
So, we'll jump ahead though. What fight that has not been announced are you most looking forward to?
Dude, I mean, hasn't been announced, but I'm really looking forward to it. Well, I was looking forward to freaking Topuria versus Islam,
But
but
that's not going to get announced.
that's not going to happen anymore. We'll see. We're going to talk about it in a little bit, but I mean, I would love to see Aspinall Jon Jones.
That ain't happening, buddy.
I know, but or another one I would like to see, Armon versus Pimblett.
I like that fight.
I think that would be a lot of freaking fun.
So
And I think it'd be a good test for Patty.
I'm hearing a lot of rumors that Pimblett and Gaethje is being targeted, and I love that fight. That's a great fight. Great test for
For a
Pimblett.
bloodbath, yeah.
Yeah, great test for Pimblett. Great test for Gaethje. Still got it. Still there. Are you able to compete with these top dogs? We'll see. But yeah, for me, the fight that we know is happening but has not been announced yet that I'm most pumped for, it's an obvious one. It's JDM versus Islam. I think, Islam versus Topuria would have been great. But I also think that we could have seen it go two ways: a knockout for Topuria or a domination for Islam. I don't think it would have been a close fight. I think it would have been one way or the other. Whereas JDM versus Topuria or JDM versus Makhachev, I don't know what to expect. I think that it's going to be a pretty bloody fight. I think it's going to be a war. I think JDM is going to be stuffing the takedowns. I think he's bigger. People talk about how big of a lightweight Makhachev is, but 15 pounds is 15 pounds natural weight. And I think JDM's a lot bigger. I like JDM in the fight, and I think JDM's going to put on another potential fight of the year there. So I like JDM versus Islam Makhachev.
I like that a lot.
So yeah, that's what I have for my unannounced fight of the year that I'm looking for, or unannounced fight that I'm looking forward to this year. So sorry, I was just texting Noah back. So Noah had not an emergency, just something come up. He had to dip out for a second. That's what happened. No worries. Everything's all good on his end. But
will he be joining us again before the end of this?
He might be. He might not. He had to run out for just a moment. So we're gonna move on. Noah brought this up at the beginning of the show. It was Topuria getting new coaches. Have you heard about this, Cody?
No, I did not.
So I'll break it down to you. It's actually not as dramatic as it sounds. So Topuria, he did get new coaches. What's going to be happening is, or what's caused this to happen, I should say, is that Topuria recently moved to Madrid. He was training in a different part of Spain, so just geographical issues. They're not able to meet up as much. They have other fighters they're working on. Topuria's working on his own thing. So it's not like there was a riff. He's dropping them for this, that, or the other. It's been slowly happening. They're still on great terms. But it is a little bit concerning when someone switches camps before a major fight. You don't know how it's going to turn out. A lot of the times, guys switch camps, and they look great their first couple fights with that new camp because they add new weapons, new tools to their arsenal. And we might see that with Topuria. I love Charles. I don't think it's a great matchup for Charles because he gets hit so much. But Charles also gets hit and keeps going. So I don't know.
I would say for some reason it doesn't seem like it affects him at all. I don't understand.
He doesn't get knocked out. He gets stronger. He's like Cell every time you do a new attack to him. He's like, oh, I powered up. I learned that attack. And
this is not even my final four.
Yeah, like Charles is like, oh, you knocked me down. Let's come into my guard. You don't want to do that? Let's get back. But Topuria might not be afraid to go into his guard. He's a BJJ black belt, and he might be too cocky for the Charles Oliveira's.
That's very true.
So, we talked Topuria. Now we got Jon Jones. You said we'll talk it later, and we're talking it later. You want to see that fight? I am not as interested in that fight as everybody else. Yes, it would be a great fight. But if Jon Jones doesn't want to do it, we need to stop asking Jon Jones to do it and expecting him to do it, because he's 37. He's done the damn thing, and he's done it all. And he's told us several times he's not going to fight again. Finally comes out, says he's retired, but not really retired. Sounds like he's not going to take the fight. UFC has met the monetary number that Jon Jones has put forward, the 20 or 30 million he wanted for the fight, and he's still saying no. I just think he doesn't want to fight anymore. He's living his best life, and heavyweight, in my opinion, needs to move on. Just let Aspinall be elevated to the undisputed champion and start defending. Give him Cyril Gane next if that's what you want to do. Then Yalton Almeida. Start getting heavyweight some life again, because everybody that keeps losing looks worse and worse because heavyweight is so diminished, because Jon Jones and Aspinall are just levels above everybody else. If Aspinall can at least be fighting these guys and dominating, then at least we have something to talk about. Maybe one day he'll lose. But right now, all we're talking about is Jon Jones and Aspinall. And I, for months, have just been on the train of, if it happens, that's great, but I'm not holding my breath on it. I know you're really excited for it. Do you think we should keep waiting out, or?
I mean, at this rate, it's just like, I mean, John said it in his tweet today that he's not retired. He gets moments where he just wants to pop up and show out, he says. So, I mean, and if he can just do that whenever he wants, I think Dana will grant him the fight whenever he wants. And it could be 7 months from now. It could be 3 weeks from now that he's like, yeah. It could be never. Jon Jones is literally just like, it just depends on
what he's feeling, yeah.
Yeah, if he's pissed off in the moment, for a good couple months, and he's really grinding his body, grinding the game, he's going to call up Dana and try and set up the Tom Aspinall fight. If he calls Dana and says, call Tom, it's over. I mean, it's set. It's happening. Tom wants it.
If John
Dana
says it's
wants
happening, it'll happen. But he hasn't said it, and I don't think it will. I like what you said, jumping back in, because he did mention that. I think if that's where he's at now, you strip him. You take the belt. You don't let it sit on the sidelines and collect dust. Have an active champion, someone that's defending. Strip him, and if he wants to jump back in, then you give him a title fight. Just like GSP, you jump back in, you're welcome back. Here's your title fight. If not, if you want to jump back in, fight Pereira's, do that. But strip him. Stop holding up this whole division that could be your marquee. It's not, because it sucks. But heavyweight, generally in combat sports, is a marquee division. It's just so weak in the UFC at this point. So, I don't know.
Yeah, just because it's held up by an interim champion. That's all it is. I mean, it's really weird.
Exactly. So, we talked that. Patchy Mix, we talked about him last week coming to the UFC. Oh, you checking the game?
No, you're good. Yeah, I got the Knicks next to me, yeah.
Oh, no worries. So, now, I want you to build me a super card. Build me a card, just the main card of a pay-per-view. Give it to me, top to bottom, bottom to top. Just let me know how you want your perfect card to be. Build it for me.
Perfect card. It's going to have to be, right now, the main event. It's going to have to be what we just talked about. I would love to see it, just because I want to see that be his final test to see if he'd be the greatest fighter of all time, I feel. If Jon Jones
already is.
I do too, but just to silence everybody and shut him up. I think if Jon Jones went out there and just whooped Tom Aspinall's ass at 33, 34 years old, 37, Jesus. Oh my gosh, I'm off of my ears tonight. That's right. He's up there. If he can go out there and just kick his ass, it cements everything. He's the best UFC fighter to ever live. He's gone out there and had year-long breaks, 2 year, 3 year-long breaks, multiple suspensions. I mean, he's overcome all odds, addictions, and still came out and just whooped anybody's ass no matter what. Um, I think for that would be my main event. The co-main event, we're gonna see it eventually, but we're all excited to see it. Valentina versus Whaley.
Okay.
I think I would love to see Valentina versus Whaley just on my dream card. I mean, granted alone. I mean, just because the women's division
It needs
is
it.
got lethal fighters, So they can't take them for granted.
But
And
yeah, no, I love that call because I didn't, not just in this exercise building the super card, but just talking about fights I'm looking forward to, fights that haven't been announced. That's the fight that hasn't been announced that I'm most, no, JDM versus Makachev still beats it, but that's a close second for me.
that's gonna be amazing.
That's gonna
That
be
should
a
be
great fight, and it tells us everything. Valentina's still
please.
there. That's a beautiful co-main.
Dana Dana needs to make that a pay-per-view main. Has to. That can't be a
Pay-per-view.
co-main.
No, that has to be a co-main. That's what you're having it as if John's there.
No, no, in mine though, but in the real world though, when that happens, that
Well,
has to be a pay-per-view main. It can't be a co-main.
it has to be a co-main. Valentina doesn't sell.
You don't think so? But Whaley sells.
No. China doesn't have pay-per-view, so it's on a
But
different. So
the thing is,
neither of them sell to the scale that they want them to sell. And
right?
And Valentina understands that. She's fine with being the co-main. She'll even defend her title on a fight night.
Would she even get would she get a big enough purse though to be on like?
She is
Would she get like
happy.
the five? Would she get like the $5-10 million purse?
Yeah, because she still gets her pay-per-view points, even though she's the co-main because she's a champion.
Okay.
So she would rather be a co-main on a card that's going to sell a lot, where she has to split her pay-per-view, but it's more than what she would have sold.
Okay.
So
I can see what you're saying there. Yeah,
but
it makes a lot of sense.
Go ahead and continue with your
You're good.
feature fight, the third one.
But so yeah, so it's a 5 card main event, pay-per-view. Typical. Another one we're gonna stay in the women's divisions. Manon Furiat versus Juliana Pena.
Different weight classes.
Hey, no, they're not. They're in the same weight class, Matt.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
Fiorat's just fought 125 title, and Pena is the 135 champ.
If you're looking at UFC rankings, Pena's ranked number 4 in another division.
Yeah, but she doesn't fight at 125. She hasn't in years.
Is she at 135?
Yeah, she's the champ at 135. She's fighting Kayla Harrison on the Sean O'Malley card.
That's right down there at bantamweight.
But I'll tell you, I'll give you a great substitution for that because Whaley is fighting Valentina in this world.
No, yeah.
Natalia Silva, who just had that great win over Alexa Grasso, former champ.
Oh no, give me Jasmine. I can't say her name ever right. Jastovicius versus Manon Furiat.
That's a good one. But what about Natalia Silva, who's right there knocking on the door, just beat Alexa Grasso on a huge tear?
You know what? You're right, though.
That would be. I'm not
You're
trying
right.
to do your card for you, but I'm just saying.
No,
like,
I'm looking at it right now. I just thought, I don't know why in the back of my mind, I just didn't know if they had fought already. For some reason, I thought they had.
Yeah, no, but Jazz is a good call. I just think she's one behind Natalia Silva, one fight behind Natalia Silva on her title push. Natalia Silva's been tearing it up, but yeah, that would be a great substitution.
Oh, they haven't fought at all. No, that'd be a great fight.
Yeah, but
no, I agree with you. I'm on the same page with you there, Matt. That would be a great substitution there. I wouldn't mind Manon Furiat versus Natalia Silva. Yeah, that would be a good one there. I don't know why I'm sitting there seeing that earlier. Hold on.
It's because Fiorat's such a big featherweight, I think, or such a big flyweight. You were probably thinking Pena and her matchup great because on paper on film they look the same size. They would
match up amazing.
They would. They're both very physical. It would be a fun fight, but I just where Pena's at with fighting Kayla Harrison, fighting for the belt, and she's super inactive.
Yeah, and Kayla Harrison's gonna whoop her ass. So I mean, I kind of should have overthought my.
I don't know if she will. She should, but Kayla Harrison has such trouble making 136. If she can make 130, her natural body weight, the lowest she can go, they said like when they did the test is 137. Hit a bet, hell yeah. is 137 though.
$300.
So she has to go 2 pounds below like her skeletal frame to make weight, or not skeletal frame, but muscular frame to make weight. She has to lose muscle to make the weight. So, but yeah, she should beat her ass. But Pena's a dog. It could be a better fight than the odds are showing. But we'll move on after the feature fight with Natalia Silva and Manon Fiorot.
We're gonna have Pantoja versus KKF.
You can't put a title fight as the fourth.
It's not gonna be, but in my perfect picture, it's not a title fight.
Well, they're already fighting for a title though.
Then we're gonna have to make that third fight. Then we're gonna have 3 title fights.
Okay, and
we're gonna swap. Yeah, for our viewers here, we're gonna swap here.
Okay, so you're building a super card.
Absolutely. I mean, this is the best pay-per-view. You said the best pay-per-view.
No, you're right.
Build.
This is like 300. Hell yeah, I love it.
But we're gonna open up with an entertainer, though. We have to.
Okay.
Patty versus Oliveira.
Okay. Assuming Oliveira loses to
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Or even just eventually Patty moves up or something, because this doesn't have to be in the present setting. This could be 6 months from now after everything settles. And rankings readjust. It could be a fun just setup. I mean, shit, a $300 pay-per-view card for the biggest purses ever. I mean,
yeah, fuck it. I love it.
I can't. I don't. It's a little.
It's a fun card.
It's fun. That's it. We're not sitting here trying to be roster general manager here, building the realistic card out here. But
I've got the card for you. So we've talked about it. I said we need to just have all these welterweights fight. I want to do an all welterweight card. I'm not going to do that. But what I am going to do, my main event, championship match, JDM versus Makhachev, 170.
Okay.
Co-main event, Alexander Volkanovski versus Jon Silva, featherweight champion.
You love that.
I love that.
You've been wanting that matchup for months.
UFC loves it too. They're talking about it, and he's barely top 10 because he's so hot right now. You strike while the iron's hot. And then the feature fight, Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Sean Brady at 170.
Oh, you're building a realistic card.
Oh, dude, this is a perfect realistic card. The perfectest. Below that, you have Joaquin Buckley taking on Jan Gary at 170. So the winner of these two fights, whoever has the most impressive performance of the two, is going to be fighting the winner of JDM versus Makhachev. It sets it up perfect. It's built. It's a built-in fight next. The guys are all in the arena. They're all there. And then to open the card, we're going to open it with fireworks. We're going to open it with a banger. 2 guys that know no bounds, that only throw bombs, pedal to the metal, get or get got. Terrence McKinney taking on Benoit Saint Denis. First round finish, guarantee, bloodbath. Both guys explosive, no defense, all offense, all gas, no brakes. That's going to get fight of the night. And then we're going to get a fun finish out of one of the 2 170 contenders. We got 2 title fights. Jon Silva versus Volkanovski. Maybe a new champ. Maybe Volk holds on one more. JDM versus Makhachev, the super fight we've been asking for. It's beautiful. It's the perfect card. You set up the next fight. You clear out the 170 division. Everybody's on the same timeline also. The whole 170-pound division is on the same timeline. So you have the winner or the best man of the 2 contenders fight for the title against the winner of JDM Makhachev. The loser of JDM Makhachev fights the other winner of that. And then the 2 losers of those 2 fights fight each other. You have the whole welterweight division figured out. And it gives Michael Morales the sideline tube to kind of work his way up without having to fight directly through them. He's going to have to fight one of them, but they're knocking each other off on the way there. He's 25. He's on the outside looking in. Maybe he fights a Prochas on the prelims. Carlos Prochas on the prelims. You keep them on the same timeline because they're all the same weight class. We don't want to wait around for a year for a title fight. We want it to happen right now.
I like that.
Yeah, that's a beautiful card. That is, when I was building this card, I could not think of a better way to build this card.
That's perfect, dude. Honestly, you should probably submit that in.
Yeah,
Honestly, because the way you said, because I mean, with Joaquin Buckley, the way he's been on the rise, he definitely deserves the pay-per-view third fight. I definitely think that with the firework fight, you have it set up, and if we're gonna have JDM go back in it already, I love it. I love it. Let's like you said, and then John Silver versus Volk, keep strike while the iron's hot. I mean, and what Volk's coming off the loss.
no
No, the
win.
win. With
Yeah,
the
he
win, yeah,
just
the underdog win, yeah. And he's just why not? I mean, I think that'd be an amazing matchup. Two bald headed, just iron chins.
hell yeah. And Volk's chin, it's a little cracked, but he's figured it out, and it's just fun ass fight. It's a fun ass card. It's perfect. You got the fun fight. You got the two title fights. You got the contenders that mean something that are going to put on fun fights, and you throw on another contender that's the dark horse looking in on the prelims. It's beautiful, beautiful. So that's my perfect card, and I think it's absolutely perfect. I don't think you get better than that. So
That's pretty freaking solid, Matt.
that is that I'm pretty proud of that one. I gotta say.
I'm like the way you broke it down and the way you had everything set up following it, and then you have it. You
I,
got it right, man.
hey, Mick Maynard, Sean Shelby, watch out, brother. I'm coming for your jobs. All right, next topic. We got a couple more before we wrap it up here. So, doing a little funsies here at the end. Who is your favorite never champ fighter? Someone that's retired now, someone that was just a fun fighter, someone you loved that never got the championship, but you loved watching them fight their whole career.
You ready for this one? I got two. Is he retired? But I can have three because I don't want one. I don't know if he's retired. Two, the other two are retired for sure. I'll give you those two. Dan Henderson,
Well, Henderson was a champ though.
but did he have a belt?
Yeah. Henderson was he came over from Pride. He was the first two division champ in Pride, and he was like,
But he didn't have a UFC title.
I think he did. I'll double check it while you're talking. But who are your other guys?
I'm pretty sure Dan Henderson never won a title. You can double check me on that one.
He
Um,
he might not have, but I thought
I
that.
don't think he ever won a title. And then Alexander Gustafsson,
Okay, no, he challenged.
he
Okay,
he fought for a title, but I don't think he ever won it.
yeah, you might be right. But Gustafson, he put on
Gustafsson is
fun
Gus
fights.
Gustafsson put up a couple fun title fights, and he lost his shots. Gustafsson had multiple opportunities. I mean, at his tall, lengthy frame that he had, dude, he was definitely a unicorn in the UFC at the time. He was definitely somebody that bridge line for the generation that we have now. These tall, lengthy fighters. They give the strategy with everything about that. I mean, he just broke. He is the mold kind of for that kind of fighter. And then well, I don't really know if he's retired anymore, but Nate Diaz.
That's a good one. Yeah, he's fun as hell. Never won the belt. Uh,
And he's always made a card, just he's even if the card's shit, Nate Diaz is on it.
It's not
That's
shit
gonna
no more.
that's 40% of your pay-per-views right there. I mean, I think I don't know if like that was my two was Gustafson and Diaz. And then I sat here and thought of Henderson just a few minutes ago. Um but I think because if Diaz is retired, then he's definitely my number one. Just because how much love I have for Nate Diaz, just because of the fucking badass that he is and doesn't stand
Leon
up.
Must. Hold on. Leon's back. We've been looking for our man. What's up, my guy?
Leon, what up, dog?
Clay Guida was never a champ. Super fun fighter. Super fun fighter. Never a champ.
Really?
I don't even think he came close to being a champ. I'll have to double check that as well. But you know who my favorite fighter is? And Leon, you can get in on this as well. It's Big Country Roy Nelson.
Roy Nelson.
Oh, dude, you'll have to go back watch The Ultimate Fighter. This dude was lazy.
No, I know who Roy Nelson is.
Walked around at 260. Could have easily fought at 185 if he took his life serious.
Definitely one of my favorite fighters back in the day on UFC video games.
Thank you. Glad to see you as well, Leon. And Clay Guida, Roy Nelson. The guy was a legend before he came to the UFC. He was an IFC champion, BJJ black belt, great on the ground, and that's what he used to beat people until he came to the UFC. Comes to the UFC, gets fatter, gets a bigger beard, gets gray hair, starts just walking through shots, unbelievable chin, just iron chin. What he did against Junior Dos Santos was nuts. And then he knocks everybody out with these wild overhands where his arm is completely straight, but he's so small that it's fine because he just goes whoop, pops him, knocks him out. If he fought at 185 and got his life together, was in shape, dude could have been the greatest of all time. But we'll never know. He's a big what if. I love Roy Nelson. I love his attitude. I love that Dana White hated him on The Ultimate Fighter because he took out Kimbo Slice. I loved Roy Nelson. I was watching his highlight tapes last night because I love the guy. He is hilarious.
Roy Nelson's the freaking man, dude.
He is the man.
One of my favorite fighters ever used on Undisputed, dude.
Yeah. He's
such a freaking fat fuck.
Dude, he just didn't take it serious, and you love to see it. He took it a little serious, but not serious enough. And then our final topic before, we might have a little bit else, I don't know, but topic that I have written down here. The Ultimate Fighter, the new season kicks off this week. What's your favorite Ultimate Fighter moment of all time?
Mine? Oh, man. Hold on here. I have it right here written down. I'll get back to it. Oh, it's Kimbo and Rampage versus Rashad's feud.
Oh,
all the way back to season 10.
Just the whole season. That's the season that Roy Nelson was on.
Yes, dude. That's my favorite season.
That was a great season. Great.
I would say series 3 and series 8 were pretty good, but yeah, series 10, dude, I think that's one of my easiest. Dude, Kimbo Slice, I grew up watching that guy on YouTube, man. He was definitely one of my first 4 or 5 YouTube searches, I think, ever. And to see him on the Ultimate Fighter series come up, and then his feud with Rashad, dude, and seeing them about to go blows just in the living room a couple times, man.
Dude,
I think that's
each other at that time.
I think that's definitely one of my favorite UFC Ultimate Fighter moments. What about you, dude?
So mine is Uriah Hall spinning back kick to Adam Cella. I think it was season 17. Most brutal knockout that I've ever seen. I mean, last couple seconds of the round, spinning back kick, like Mauricio Huffy, except the heel hit the jaw, dislocated the jaw. Cella's just sitting there breathing, barely breathing. It was beautiful finish by Uriah Hall. And then he goes out there, finishes, what's his name? McDouglas or whatever. But finishes that guy that he fought next, the top guy on the show. And then he has to fight.
So long ago.
Yeah, he has to fight. It was Bubba McDaniel. And then he has to fight Dylan Andrews. Dylan Andrews gets him in the mount, and Uriah Hall knocks him out from his back. So he's on his back throwing ground and pound from the back position and knocks out Dylan Hall. Loses to.
What?
Yeah. Oh, man, you need to go back and watch. I think it's season 17. I'll have to double check it. But you'll need to go back and watch. Yeah, it was season 17. You'll have to go back and watch it. I mean, during the show, everybody watching him was like, this guy is the next Anderson Silva. What he was doing to people. Sonnen and Forrest was a great season. Bonner and Forrest was a great fight. Did Sonnen and Forrest do a season? I mean, that's what kicked off the UFC. The reason the UFC is where it's at is because of.
What about Brock over Mir?
Oh, that was a good one. Was
that at 100?
They fought twice. I think the
first one was 100. Whenever he come out of the Contender Series.
Well, he didn't come out of the Contender Series. Wasn't around until
the Ultimate Fighter, whatever. When he came out of WWF.
Yeah. I'll see when that was because Frank Mir beat him the first time, and then Brock Lesnar got him the second time. But Yeah, but that wasn't really Ultimate Fighter as much as they were coaches. And then, yeah, so he lost to Brock Lesnar at 100. He beat Brock Lesnar at 81 with a knee bar.
81. Okay,
So,
that's
but
when.
Brock Lesnar got the TKO in round 2 at UFC 100. Frank Mir was a weird fighter because he was a beast, but he was like a guy that didn't need to train. He was a heavyweight that was built like an NBA or NFL player. Didn't need to train as much, and you could tell he didn't always train. Wasn't always up for his fights. And the skills that this dude had, his submissions at heavyweight, his power that he carried, his striking, he could do it all. He just sometimes wouldn't. And it was the weirdest thing to see. I remember watching him fight when I was younger. I mean, the guy's only 45 now. He could still fight if he wanted to. But watching him when I was younger and just being shocked that he's not winning some of these fights because he was so good, so athletic, had all the skills, just didn't always put it together. So, yeah, that was a great moment. The Ultimate Fighter, though, it's definitely fallen off. It's not the same. The entertainment value is not the same. The fights are still what they are, but the entertainment value, they're not. The fighters are all so serious. What they need to do to kick the Ultimate Fighter off again, and I don't know if it's politically correct enough and if it's ever politically acceptable or socially acceptable enough. What the Ultimate Fighter needs to do, though, to get back into things, 21 to 25-year-olds, Midwest, white trash. Doesn't have to be white trash, just some trashy ass dudes coming from the slums that like to party. College kids, dudes that are like wrestlers that like to party. Bring them into the Ultimate Fighter house. Have it like it was back in the day where people were getting drunk as shit at night, doing crazy stuff. I know it's not great for the fighters, but it's great for the product. If you're going to put a reality show on, make it entertaining and stop making us watch these guys talk about how, oh, I'm doing this for my family. Everybody's doing it for their fucking family, brother. That's why we all work.
Like the BJ Penn, Pulver
I like that
ping
season.
pong match.
Oh yeah, that was lame, but
That was it just
that
a
was
bunch of
still,
dudes.
That was still at least when they were.
It was
doing,
fun.
Yeah, they were doing shit. Now it's like it's just so
Everyone's like
everybody's
it's like
so
Big Brother.
professional. Yeah, everybody's
You ever
so
watch
professional.
you watch
Nobody
Big
wants to
Brother
look
ever back
bad.
in the day? Everyone's in a house just sitting on their phone, just quiet to themselves,
That's
just
how it is now.
texting with their trainer. It's like
and they
nobody
don't.
wants to get together, get fucked up, go out and do anything together and make it a brotherhood. No, it's all well, I'm trying to get to the top.
Yeah, no, I'm the guy.
I'm putting all this money into
And
my
it's
body.
like
And it's like, no, dude.
but I understand it from the fighters' perspectives because this is their one shot.
You also have to be able to market yourself.
Yeah, you have to be able to market yourself. So don't come on here for your one shot. Go to the Contender Series. Let these fucking dirtbags come on here. The what was the guy's name? Julian something. That oh man, it's gonna bug me. He was hilarious. He got knocked out. He was like, nobody can knock me out. And then somebody slapped him real hard or punched him real hard. He's like, you can't knock me out. Junie Browning. But like guys like that, just a whole season of a bunch of dudes that are short wired. You might have to kick some people off the show, but that's what the show's all about. We love the drama. It's not for the tournament. We're not watching it for the tournament. We're watching it for the drama. So that's what I have for that.
Oh, and Chris smacked Junie.
Oh yeah.
That was it. Yeah, that was a good one.
That was hilarious. So,
yeah, dude, it's just they need to like give us some rough and like how Barstool grabs the rough and rowdy people. Give us some some rough and rowdy crowds, just give us the white trash that hangs out down at Talladega or something.
Yeah, like obviously dudes that train MMA, like 3 to 5 fights, whatever. But just make it dudes that take it serious but not too serious. That's how you fix the Ultimate Fighter.
You have to make it entertaining. You have to be able to sell the product. And if everyone's going to come in and treat everything like a business, when granted, I know you need to treat it like a business, but also at the same time, it's like any other player in college or anything like that. You're trying to sell yourself, market yourself, and
exactly. That was my problem.
Become a household name.
That's my problem with like the Marabs and with the Dvalishvili. You got to market yourself. And Dvalishvili, while he doesn't do it in his fights, he does do it on social media. Bilal, not very much at all. But it's just like you said, the fighters. I understand it completely because this is their one shot, but don't give these guys that take it that serious that one shot. The international season idea to bring you looking at the Knicks blow the lead. Cody's losing his freaking mind over here. What happened?
We're going live.
We're going
Don't
live.
copyright us. Don't copyright us.
Might be.
Watch the bounce on this.
All right, let's see this thing. We're switching it up from blood and
It's
beer
a
to
2.
blood and ball. Oh.
It tied the game to go to overtime. Watch the bounce on this.
Oh my gosh. Phenomenal. Let's get back to some MMA talk though.
What?
Yeah. Hey,
What?
NBA finals or something different, brother.
Eastern Conference Finals. What?
I don't have any more MMA to talk. I was checking the news. Nothing too interesting has popped up. Do you have any other MMA discussions that you want to air out? Any other grievances? Anything else?
Yeah, we're gonna start seeing these fighters that keep clogging up these fight nights retire. These 40-year-old fighters.
Yeah, it's
It's no disrespect to them, but I'm sick and tired of it.
yeah, I like seeing the older guys fight if they're active.
And they're competitive.
Yeah, if they're active, well, they don't even necessarily need to be competitive for me because if they're older guys that are fighting on the fight nights, at least they get knocked out by somebody that we know is fighting next. Like the Julian Erosa versus Darren Elkins fight was kind of pointless to me because Erosa's 35, Elkins is 40. So Erosa's on his way towards the way out. He's not there yet. I'm a big Erosa fan, so I'm not going to say he's on the way out. He looks great. He looked great in the Melchizel Costa fight. But him versus Darren Elkins, that doesn't do anything for anyone. Like, you put Darren Elkins up against a 22-year-old that beats Darren Elkins, and then you can say, okay, this guy just beat the legend Darren Elkins. Julian Erosa does it. It's two guys that are kind of the same status that, I like to see the guys get the shot, and I love it every now and then when the guys have a retirement fight and get the victory, but it doesn't happen very much. It just doesn't happen at the rate we like to see it. We don't get those Robbie Lawler send-offs that we used to get. We don't get the guys that get the knockout and say, I'm sailing off into the sunset. This is it for me. So
Is that maybe just a part of the generation that we're in?
well, I think a lot of it is these guys get signed to these contracts and their whole career they're kind of screwed by these contracts where they're stuck with the UFC and they have to take the fights that they are given. And then they're at the end of their contract and they're making more money than they ever have because they've been in the UFC for so long. And they don't want to, they're like, hey, I'm going to take every dollar I can out of this, even if I'm getting beat on every fight of the contract. I'm going to keep taking these fights until you guys cut me because why wouldn't I? It's free money. Like, I've been beat up before. You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't these guys take these 80 and 80 or 150 fights when they fought 20 fights in the UFC? They're getting paid a shit ton, and the UFC has to honor their contracts, so they're going to. And
Especially if I can see where you're coming from then, because then I'm going to bring in another point of view. Especially like you say, if you've hold on here. Let me go back. I'm gonna keep trying to fill in the airspace here. Like, we go back to the highlight it all. ESPN MMA schedule here, because like what we were talking about prior, like with older fighters, fighters that fought back shit in 2016, 2015 that are now 10 years into their UFC career and they've got 40 fights under their belts. Hold on here. Where are we at? Oh, we're getting okay. These are ones that just happened. Okay. This was literally just on the Gilbert Burns Morales fight. Gilbert Burns is what, 38?
But that's a guy that has been fighting top level guys that still he has a ranking that he needs to defend, and you need to give that up. Like
There was somebody else on this card that was really old, or was it who is it that we've seen recently? Was it on?
Was it Jim Miller?
No, was it him on 314? I mean 315. It couldn't have. It couldn't have been him on 315.
So we had the conversation on 314 about Jose Aldo was on 315. But we had the conversation at 314 about Volkanovski. Yeah, Aldo. I mean, does he need to hang it up though? He looks great each time out. He can't make the weight anymore, but
I think it's the distance in the fights that get him.
He doesn't have the gas tank that he used to because he has to explode so much.
Was it a part of the Sandhagen fight night?
Bo Nickel RDR Ponzinibbio versus Daniel
Yeah.
Rodriguez. That's the fight you're talking about. That's the one.
It has to be, dude. Like,
what's the point of a fight like that? These guys.
Ponzinibbio is 38. He's got 40 fights under his belt.
D-Rod's 40 or 38 and has 25 fights, 24 fights. I mean,
that's one right there where you could take 2 fighters off the contract, give them to PFL, give them to one, somebody that needs fighters like that.
PFL won't take him. PFL is incompetent.
GFL
is no longer in existence.
That didn't even last 2 months.
It didn't even last a card. You missed my GFL Rest in Peace show?
I did.
Yeah, I know it's not something everybody's up to date on, so I'm not going to dog you on it because GFL is the GFL. But GFL,
I was going to say I didn't even see you post about it. That's
well, I'll get into the GFL since we have some time and we're just killing shit doing the thing. And
I say we're in OT right now. It's 129, 128.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in, Leon. We appreciate you and we love you. We hope to see you again. And Cody, let's get that Discord working. Get Leon into it, and hell yeah.
I'll say Leon, share that to your buddies, man.
But GFL, the GFL guys. If you didn't know, because who the fuck cares about the GFL? What they did was they said they're gonna be a fighting league, not like the PFL where everybody fights for themselves. There's fighting teams, geographical. Whatever, dumb. They're going to do a draft, though. So that's cool. But then their draft ended up being predetermined. Much love to you as well, Leon. But draft ended up being predetermined. They said that they could move people around, and they did it. They just put everybody where they wanted them to. And they accidentally leaked the draft schedule before the draft. So everybody knew where everyone was going after the second round. Well, actually, before the fights, or before the draft. So they went through 2 rounds, and then they were just like, all right, here's the rest of the draft. It wasn't live like we said it was going to be. It was ridiculous. So that was dumb. That was really dumb that they did that. But also, they signed 40 to 50-year-old fighters that were on 10-fight losing streaks, knockout streaks, guys that testified in the UFC's in the UFC trial, or the UFC lawsuit, Kong Lee versus the UFC, ended up being a $350 million settlement. Huge things. They signed these guys that testified they had brain damage, so they couldn't fight. So they moved them, like Vanderlei Silva, to coaches. They have all these super old fighters on the roster, and then they put out that they're paying these guys this crazy amount of money. They put out their first 2 events, in theory, what they would be, the matchups. And then they cancel it. People start doing some investigating. They ask the guy, they're like, hey, why'd you cancel? Didn't you have proof of funds from your investors? This, that, and the other. Well, Darren Owens says he's the CEO, the chairman of GFL, the president. He says we did have proof of funds. We had the investor. He deposited $20 million into our account, and then so we knew that he had it, and then he withdrew it and gave us a $200,000 a month allowance. So that's like, what, 8 years for the $20 million from that one investor, and that's ridiculous. But then to think that you could put these fights on with guys making $1 million a fight with only a $200,000 a month allowance,
Let's say,
it doesn't
what
make any
kind,
sense. So,
what does that do for them when what they were getting in the UFC is kind of a slap in the face for them? It's not even.
well, and nobody cares about team MMA.
No, we were
It
whenever
team
we seen that, we all were like, what is this?
so team MMA, cool concept when you think about it. Like, yeah, there's a bunch of teams, but when they're not all training at the same gym, when it's not actually a sense of unity, it's just GFL was literally just a fantasy league watching fights. Like we said, these guys are all on teams. These people are fighting. And then the fantasy league, what we do is we're going to pool the fights and we're going to say these people get this the points, teams move on, tournament, championship. You can't get behind teams that aren't teams. Like you're not going to get behind a team that's not actually a team. They don't train together. They're nothing. They're just a bunch of
No,
people that
they're
are
just a bunch
wearing
of
the
dudes
same
that are just,
colors. Like
and they're just, yeah. You got a blue corner, an orange corner, a red corner, a green corner. What's that going to do for anybody?
the
It
concept
doesn't.
that they had took what the PFL did, which was stupid, but took what the PFL did and was like, hey, what if the NFL, instead of having just teams, what if the NFL was like, hey, the AFC West, their whole record is going to combine the AFC East, the NFC. You know what I mean? Like all these
Yeah,
conferences, that's how we're going to determine who makes it. It's ridiculous. It's such a stupid idea.
yeah. 'Cause
So that's my grievance on the GFL, and don't even get me started on the PFL. But
it's I don't. Why can't these? I know there's sub leagues, and it's really hard to just start a league on the fly and be successful within the first couple years. I
absolutely,
mean,
but
we're finally seeing it with, like, say, such a weird example, I know, but like the WNBA took 30 years to become kind of relevant.
and they're still only relevant because they're being pushed by the media. When you look at the money that they're bringing in, like
Yeah, there's
they're
only really like three names that bring in any kind of sort of money to the
in
league,
the
and they're
league
still not fully developed. I mean,
and
it takes some real time and talent to develop a league.
and
It's not
that
even
league
just
that league is only in existence because the media pushes it though, because they're losing money. I mean, hand over foot. And the PFL was being pushed by ESPN for a while, but I think they realized that it's time to give up on them. It's
the
not
ESPN's not going to waste their resources on a company that's not going to use resources on their own, like on their own product.
exactly. So, yeah, and you look at it, it's the PFL what they're doing. All these people what they're doing. PFL has a good roster. They have a decent roster, but they're stuck in these tournaments and super fights and championship and road to Dubai and all these other things, and they're spread so far so thin. And they have all these champions. They had to let Patchy Mix go. They had to let Patricio Pitbull go. They had to let Aaron Pico go. Two top 145ers and a top 135er. Had to let them all go because they can't figure it out. They can't get them fights. If the PFL would just give up on their fucking gimmick and say, hey, we're just going to be building cards. We're just going to put good cards out with good fights. It's going to have a main event and then fun fights on the undercard. It's not going to be the UFC, but it could be the co-leader like they want to be. Nobody's fucking watching the PFL. They have Paul Hughes, who is an absolute superstar. UFC didn't get him because they wanted him to fight Contender Series on a low contract. PFL paid him a shit ton of money. He comes over, loses a close decision to Usman Nurmagomedov, cousin of Khabib, brother of Umar. Dude's a beast, undefeated. And then his next fight, which is supposed to be the setup to the Usman rematch, is against a nobody. It's supposed to be a setup fight, whatever. But they don't even put it on US TV at all. You can't get it on DAZN, YouTube, anywhere. It was on PFL Ireland or something, but only available in Europe to watch. So they're burying their star. They don't know what they're doing. They don't listen to the fans. I can't even get started on the PFL because it's going to be another hour rant of me just talking shit on them.
How do you just lock one of your biggest fighters, if not your biggest fighters, on an Ireland UK stream only.
Dude, it's crazy. And
It blows my mind.
I know you don't follow a ton of the MMA media guys, but Brian Campbell, he's
I've heard of him.
yeah, he's on the Morning Combat. He's the host of that, co-host. Does the Campbell's Rambles. He's always doing play-by-play for boxing. Dude's a beast, super high up there, writer for CBS. He didn't even know this fight was happening until the Thursday before it happened because they don't advertise, they don't promote, they don't do anything. They do nothing.
How do they have enough revenue to rent out a venue
So
and then pay for the venue and everything? Is it just
well, they've been using Orlando studios, so probably less. They don't sell tickets in the U.S. In Europe, they do really well because Europe they put on really good cards. They appeal to the local market for wherever they're at in Europe. They do really well over there selling tickets. Here they don't do shit. If you watch on ESPN Plus the PFL product, pathetic. So when it's commercial break and on ESPN Plus, you know how for UFC it'll either go to commercials or it'll say your event's in commercial break, be right back.
Yeah.
In the rotating screen. You get up, you go do something, but you're like, whatever, commercial break. What the PFL likes to do is go to a deadpan of the arena from like a high up camera in the rafters. So it just shows the whole Universal Studios, everybody dead as hell, not paying attention to the fights, not watching, just dead for 2 or 3 minutes while it's on commercial. And while it's doing that, half the time the announcer's hot mic is on. So you hear him talking shit about the fighters. Happened really bad when Tyron Woodley, Randy Couture, and Sean O'Connell were on the broadcast. Tyron Woodley and Randy Couture were just talking shit about the fighters the whole time during commercial break because nobody told them there was a hot mic. Nobody's paying attention to shit. Nobody's doing shit in the PFL. It's honestly pathetic the way that they run their product.
Pretty bad that they don't have enough ad revenue to have a commercial break.
That's the thing, is if they would just put the effort in, the commercial is there because they're also on ESPN2 or ESPN News. The commercial is already there. They're on the platform to have the commercial there. They're just not fucking doing it. They're just incompetent. And what you said, I don't know why the PFL is doing what they're doing, like the way they're doing it. You're like, I just don't understand it. The reason they don't sell tickets in the U.S. and everything, the reason they are the way they are, is because they are trying to appeal to the investors. They're trying to get the TV deal. They're not worried about the fans. They're not worried about what the fans want to see. They want to get the next big bag so they can go buy their next big thing and fuck that up more. Instead, like what the UFC did when it was leading up, they're like, oh, you want to see this fight? We're going to make that fight. You want to see this fight? We're going to make that fight. PFL's like, we have all these champions, but we can't find the right fight for them. And also, their championships are super convoluted because if you won the PFL tournament, you're not a champion. You're the PFL champion, PFL tournament champion for that year, but you don't have their belt. You're not the champion. They also bought Bellator that had a bunch of champions. So if you came from Bellator and you're the champion, but not the PFL champion. So you're a champion. You also have the Super Fight Championships that they have. You have their Road to Dubai Championship Series. It's just all so convoluted. I can see it in your face because when I start explaining it, it's just like I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself and I'm not because that's what the PFL is just a fucking mess.
No, it sounds like a European ran league because that's what those European sports do for some reason.
They're not. They're a U.S. ran league. They're solely based in the U.S. And on top of all the stuff that I mentioned, so you know how they have the tournament and everything and all the crazy shit, the Road to Dubai, the Championship Series, the Bellator, they have all this stuff, the Super Fight Series, all this stuff. On top of all that, under that, they have PFL Africa, which is its own separate tournament, which it's for the region to help build it up in that region. But that's a 20-year plan. They also have PFL MENA, PFL Europe. They might have PFL South America. I'm not sure. But PFL tournaments going on all around the world. It's a 20-year plan to build up this product. But they only have 2 or 3 years left. I mean, at most, this product
Yeah.
is failing. They're just shooting themselves in the foot. And their best, goodness, the best thing that they did was the Francis Ngannou fight versus Renan Ferreira. Sold less than
Yeah, right. When he
50,000, or no, sold less than 10,000 pay-per-view units at $50 a unit.
I remember that. It was a giant failure.
Yeah, and they acted like it was a huge success because it had a ton of attraction on social media, but nobody fucking bought it, and nobody's going to ever buy a PFL pay-per-view. Nobody's going to buy that. Nobody's going to pay money to watch PFL because they don't put on a product we want to watch. People can't keep up with your Wednesday, Thursday, Friday cards that are not advertised, that are not promoted. You can get on your Twitter and promote it. You can tell us all about it and that it's going on, and I'll see it. The millions of followers you have will see it, but you don't do that. Instead, you talk about what you're doing for fighters and what you're doing to get these guys that don't have fights, but you never get them fights.
No, and do they have the outreach to get these fights, and build these cards as fast? I mean, because
They do have the outreach. That's what's so frustrating about it. They have the ESPN platform.
but how much is ESPN providing for them, though? That's the only issue. Knowing that they're a dying product.
ESPN would give them everything they ask for right now. It's a negotiating year for UFC. It would be nothing better for ESPN than if PFL was profitable and successful and a buzz. Because then they could say, hey, you might be the top name in town, but PFL, at least people are watching it. It's a buzz. It's getting X amount of viewers a week. You know what I mean? It's a buzz.
Right.
But when
You're absolutely right.
when you just don't take advantage of it, why would UFC not, or why would ESPN not push them?
No, absolutely. Because with the contract year with UFC, I mean, Dana White's so public about seeing what's out there for other options. You think you would try and gravitate and be like, we're going to try and make mixed martial arts one of our top priorities here, Dana.
Well,
like, this is what we're doing for PFL. Just imagine what we'll do for you.
Yeah, they could use that leverage. They say, hey, look at how we're pushing PFL. We'll keep pushing you. Or they could say, hey, PFL's doing so good, we might not need you. Take less because other people, you know what I mean? Like, it's such a leveraging tool, and PFL will never do that well because they're just incompetent. The way they run their organization is with incompetency. No fun, no entertainment. It's ridiculous the way that they do it. But yeah, like I said, I told you I could rant for PFL 20 minutes. That was 12, and I have so many more grievances to air out about Patchy Mix, about Patricio Pitbull, about Aaron Pico, letting them all go. Johnny Eblen sitting on the sideline forever, and now he's fighting in South Africa on the road to Dubai with Dakota Cheva. Also, superstar that should be fighting in the UFC, but she's stuck under PFL contract. There's just so much that they're fumbling the bag on. And the people that both Dakota, the girl she's fighting, it's a nobody. The guy Johnny Eblen's fighting, it's a nobody. It's just to keep them happy, to give them a fight, to give them a payday, because they're so pissed that they're not getting fights. To not be able to give these guys fights is insane. So
I was going to say, you think you'd be pumping these fighters to the UFC to be like, hey, look at what we're pushing to the UFC. This is what you have an opportunity to get to with us.
And then eventually people are going to be like, hey, I make the money in PFL. It's finally got the notoriety. I'll stick around here. You look at how Cage Warriors, KSW, all those guys, they're not trying to compete with the UFC. They're trying to push their guys to the UFC. And that's the issue with the PFL, is kind of trying to compete, kind of trying to sit there and say, hey, we're the number two. We're the number two. But they're not. They're hanging around, putting fights on that nobody's watching, and it's truly pathetic. I don't know when their next card is, actually. I'll have to check.
There's nothing wrong with trying to push your product to the granddaddy of them all.
Yeah, and instead they don't do that. So their next card is June 12th, so we have a little while before their next card. And it's a decent card, but, I mean, nobody's going to fucking watch it. Not a person is going to watch it. So
it's going to be a half sold out arena, if that. I mean, it's going to be pretty dead.
It is. And I think we can wrap it up on that. You know, we had some good talks about the UFC, about where we're going from here, what we've seen already, the fights and knockouts and fighters of the year, what we have to look forward to, everything. And then we bitched about the GFL, PFL, Jon Jones. We talked about Tapuria. I think we've covered it all. And I appreciate every one of you Blood and Beer watchers, everybody that's tuned in. Thank you for tuning into the show. Cody, Noah, and I super appreciate it. Noah had to dip out a little early on us, but you know, life happens, things happen, and that's okay. But that's all we got for you. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to us. We really appreciate it. We pump out content every week, 2 episodes a week, Sunday and Wednesday. Try to get some more. We got a knockout newsroom coming. We don't know when we'll get that set up, but it someday will be set up. And that's all we got for you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for showing up, Cody. Thank you, Noah, wherever you are. I hope you got your things in, your ducks in a row, and